We are the Nerd Eternal Network.
Hello! Welcome to the Nerd Eternal. Today we are playing Icons. Or, Earthbound. Or Icons actual play. Get the order right. But, as usual, I'll be your GM for the day, and with me today will be Curtis as Landshark.
Hola.
Taylor is Unison.
Howdy.
Mike is Independence Ray.
Hey.
And Zach is Recluse.
Thank you for joining us.
And who remembers where we left off last time?
We were in the middle of a fight.
That's right. Ray had just tried to draw out the Great Fjord that seems to be inhabiting our current nemesis, the Queen, the Witch Queen. And I had just realized that she may have an artifact in her hand that um, that may be containing the energy. Because even though she's exhibiting, I think it was the spirit's powers, I wasn't directly making contact with the being itself.
Correct.
She seems to be accessing this Fjord power, but in some way that's different from what Ray does.
And I believe she had mentally assaulted some of you.
And all that was started when she had released a number of monsters on the planet Gakrad, where we have just recently returned some hostages that we rescued.
Correct.
And very rude interruption to what had been a very pleasant vacation.
Yes, it was. Y'all were really just kind of being, a tour of the city. The planet's more advanced than Earth, not so advanced that it's like mind-boggling to you, because y'all deal with super science all the time. But just a nice place, it's not a utopia. It's not perfect. It's got problems.
But it's getting there.
Yeah, it's a very nice place. It's very, the majority of the planet seems to be very first world.
Certainly no dark underbelly that we need to be worried about.
No one's tried to experiment on any of us yet.
Nope.
That is a step up from a few of our last stops.
Y'all have pretty much just, it made the news. Y'all are like small-time celebrities. Oh, neat, somebody from off planet. Oh, they saved a family. Oh, that's kind of neat. Oh, had my favorite sports team do today. People on this planet going with their lives. This is the first something that you've even heard about that resembles the kind of trouble y'all run into back home.
Super antics.
So yeah, these creatures came up out of the ground, but it was like portals, opening up at ground level and them coming out, not them actually like burrowing out. Y'all dealt with some of those, and then she drifted up. My lab. Or mall lab. And she's basically been chastising you for getting involved, because this is not really this is local politics. It really ain't none of your business. Right. So best I can recall, you were dealing with her. I think, was there still one of the land-bound creatures? Y'all took out all the flying creatures. But I think there was still one of the land-bound ones trying to get into a car.
I believe it was with the turtle creature.
Now, one had busted into the car, and we had gotten the guy out because his name was Vexlord.
Oh, that's right.
He was some relative of a government person.
Yeah, he was like the son of a councilman or something like that.
Consul, I think was the term she used. He was one of the consul's sons. That's right. I forgot I had named him Vexlorp. I was looking here today going, did I not name that guy? Okay, I need that name for that guy.
I just know it because I typed the one name I heard.
Hey, that's fair. And now that you tell me that, I remember pulling that off of a list. Because that was originally one of the little kids you rescued, but I never gave you all the kids' names. So I thought, we'll just use that name.
Hey, people have the same name all the time.
Oh, yeah. If you
Right.
if you suddenly ask what the kid's name is, that's still going to be one of them's name. And I believe we ended at the top of the order.
Oh.
So, Ray, I believe you are up.
Okay, that might have been my action, the stunt I tried to pull, because that's the last thing I had written down. So we may have stopped right after.
You might be right, because I think we were right at time last time.
That's right.
Sorry, so we will
Those are-
assume
those
that
are
you
good
have gone
points.
in.
Yeah.
And then we'll get... Okay. So you've gone. Omniglot is continuing to herd civilians away from the place. Because she is not relying on translation devices. She is just shouting in their language what they need to do. And Recluse, you're up.
All right, I'm going to try and just web down the Witch Queen. And I keep
She's already
wanting to
bound.
call her... What'd you say?
She's already bound.
Ah,
Oh yeah. Bruce stunted shark magic, or as he called it, shark magic.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
she's in what case?
I'm trying to remember. You had her in a partial hold, I think.
I think it was a full hold.
Was it okay?
It was a full hold.
Okay.
oh, nice.
That's really the kind of thing I should probably jot down when it happens.
We eventually got to a full
That's
hold
covered.
because I believe Landshark used some of the qualities I had put on her.
I did.
That's right.
All right, and so I guess, does Recluse see the last turtle thing?
Yes. It's probably waddling around the car now to get the guy
Yeah,
to come out
I'm-
of the door.
I'm just going to pick it up and just sort of flip it over on its back.
All right, give me a prowess.
That's an 11.
Let's see. What stats was I using for the turtle cow here? All right, he got a minimum roll, so he got a 6 total. So you have successfully flipped him on his back.
Oh.
It is now kicking its legs in the air
Oh.
as you have uncovered one of it. As you have kind of accidentally uncovered one of its qualities, turtle-like.
I'm just going to give a little pat on the belly and head over to the Witch Queen. So you said something about freedom fighter before I hit you with the car. What's going on with that?
The people of this world have oppressed my kind for too long.
Define oppressed, define kind.
They've killed most of us. Like
Oh.
every time they can find us.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, wow.
Who?
Local religious figure on my world.
Oh.
Wow. Sorry. That's pretty fucked up. Kinda get the magical bioterror thing now.
Oh, they're not truly biological. They're just homunculi. Constructs.
Homuncusaurs.
They'll dissipate in a little while. They merely act like ancient creatures that no longer exist in this world.
Yeah.
Are we still in combat at this moment? I mean, technically or no?
Technically,
She's in a full
it's
hold?
not like she's given up. When her action comes up, she'll try to do something to get loose.
All right.
So is Recluse going to do anything other than just talk to her? Because I mean, it's like she's standing. It's like she's got a little volcano of earth that she's pinned in right now. So
I mean, I'm not really sure I should punch her right now. But, team meetup. Just waves everyone in. What do we do here?
huddle up.
Well, right now we only have her word on that.
Oh,
Let's see. We don't currently have any access to like any kind of like local sources of information, do we? We don't have we haven't downloaded the GACRAD app or anything like that.
Your comm units don't really access their internet, for lack of another word.
Okay. Well, let's turn to Vexward.
he's still running, as far as I know.
Yeah,
Oh.
Unison sent him off with the crowd, so you can see him disappearing in the distance with some of the rest of the crowd.
All right.
Once he got out of that car, he started moving and he didn't stop.
Okay. Well,
Now,
let's.
he's not so far away that somebody as fast as Ray or someone couldn't catch up with him. But
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If the rest of you, you got this in hand. I'll be back. I'll go. I'll go Vexward, or at least try to get his side of the story.
all right, so you're prepared to do that.
Yeah.
After Recluse is technically Unison's turn. Unison, are you going to do anything?
I'll talk with her some more.
Okay.
Of going. Is there a way we can just call this evensies and let you out and you step away from us and without fighting anymore?
Oh, certainly. There's
Like,
well,
we acted on reaction thinking people were going to get murdered. You have now stated that, like, freedom fighter, we can't prove or disprove that, but we can just cut it even, let you go because no one has been harmed, and we kind of just both back away because we don't have enough information to accurately know if you are in the right with what you're doing. But you've also presented presented a statement that you are not in the wrong to be doing what you're doing, so we're in a very confusing spot right now.
yeah, she can agree to that. She fighting you was never anything she was interested in anyway.
Right, so is it just, we kind of separate and you live to fight another day when we're not here?
That would be absolutely fine with her. She'd offered a clasp on it, but her arms are pinned.
Team leader, you good with that? So I looked to
Yes.
Ray.
Yeah. No, that sounds like a good call.
All right.
Chris will just lock her up again if she needs to. He needs to.
All right, Land Shark, are you letting her out?
I just kind of look at it as like, they kill people like you?
Yes, they fear anyone with odd abilities. And she begins describing something that sounds remarkably like witch trials.
Yeah, I'll let her go.
You do that. She kind of brushes a little stray dirt off her robes. Thanks you for being so reasonable. There's a snapper of a finger, and the mostly unconscious creatures, but also the one kicking on his back, they just sort of like those little portal things open up under, and they just sort of sink down back to wherever they came from, apparently. Emergency. You hear emergency. I think when we ended last time, you could hear the sirens of emergency vehicles coming.
No, I kind of look at everyone else. It's like, people with unusual abilities means us, right?
As far as they're concerned, we're not them. There's a lot of sociological factors that go into defining an outgroup, and we're an outlier to an outlier.
She's like,
Meaning we're people with extraordinary powers who just rescued a family of theirs.
this is all fascinating, gentlemen, but I should probably leave. If I'm still here when law enforcement arrives, things will only escalate again.
Yeah. You hop out. And sorry about hitting you with a car.
Understandable given the misunderstanding at the time. She lifts up into the air a little bit. Well, all of y'all are experienced superheroes. You recognize casting a spell, and she fades from sight. And presumably flies away. Maybe she's just hovering there. You don't know.
All right. Well, in this case, maybe we should all go have a talk with Sexlorp.
But as you're debating that, the police vehicles land. The police start piling out. Several of them head over in your direction. One walks over like he's going to talk to
Before they get here, I'd go. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Before that, I would like to huddle the group and just be like, hey, listen, they're not going to be happy if we just say we let her go. But I also don't know what recording technology they have. So they may already know we kind of just let her go. Who knows?
Yeah, we keep we keep our lips tied about what happened until we don't have any other choice. Like,
Okay.
We fought, she left.
I think it got mentioned last time that there's not a ton of like surveillance on the streets. They've got some pretty strict privacy laws on this planet. Shops, banks, government and military installations, that kind of stuff is going to have surveillance. But it's not like London where you've got CCTV just everywhere.
I mean, we basically just, we could just say that we facilities, and which is the truth. That's what we did. We agreed to let her go, and she left without, and also took away her monsters, her homunculi, and the parcels. So
I just wanted to make sure we were all on the same page before we had talked to authorities in this planet.
Yeah.
No, that's a good call. Yep. I think we are. Are we?
I'm sure with it.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, please come up. And like you see some of them get out of the passenger side cars that have like more like rifle style equipment than holstered guns. They don't point anything at you. They don't really point at anything. They just get out of the car with it and they're like looking around. The officers run up to you. We got calls about. We were notified about the disturbance. We were told that y'all were not interfering, but coming to civilians' defense. Can you fill me in on what happened?
Sure. So, yes, it was I believe you refer to as a quote unquote witch queen, Maulad.
He shudders at the name.
That's Yeah, I take it. I think is she some sort of criminal in this world?
Yes, yes, criminal terrorist. Likes to claim she uses magic, but obviously it's got to be some sort of. Obviously, she's just gotten a hold of some high technology or something.
Well,
He doesn't necessarily sound
not
super
to call you
convinced when
out.
he says that. It sounds like he's trying to convince himself of that.
Okay, yeah, not to call you out, but in our experiences from our own home world, magic's a thing. Um, but that's neither here nor there. Well, it's over there, and we're here. So, uh, yeah, we contained her the creatures that she had brought with her, and then yeah, and then there was no more threat to anyone. So um, we agreed to end hostilities, and we let her go. Um, after a brief discussion about the cause of her grievances, um, and I know we're not here. We did, but without having a full appraisal of the person and the fact that no one was actually harmed. Yes. So that's where we're at. Would you like to tell me exactly why what her exactly what kind of terror has she been unleashing
All right,
here?
give me a will roll. I just want to see how well you present this.
Hopefully better than
And
I did.
basically how he reacts to
How
what you're
you
telling him.
present that as Unison stares you down like a dog from behind.
Yeah,
We just said we weren't going to tell him we let her go.
thank you.
Oh, there
Because
he
he
goes.
just
Independence Ray is just
okay.
too
Well,
honest for his
do
own
I
good.
have anything that might?
Well, actually, that's exactly what Landshark's going to say. I
Mhm.
thought we weren't going to say that we let her go.
Can
Oh God.
I burn a
I thought we agreed that we weren't going to lie about what we did. Oh shoot. Okay. Well, anyway.
We agreed to say we were fighting her. She escaped. We shook hands on it. We said we
Oh,
fought
okay.
her.
Well,
She escaped.
you were going to withhold the whole.
Maybe we should have pinky swore.
Talking. That you would
Yeah,
basically let her loose, unless
I'm
unless
sorry.
you
That was
just
my
got backed
misunderstanding.
into a corner and
Yeah.
you weren't going to directly lie necessarily,
Sorry. That was my misunderstanding. I
uh,
apologize.
but okay. But you trounce his real roll because I rolled another one, so count to a total of 4.
Okay. I
So you beat her.
bamboozled him into ignoring my obvious submission.
Uh, so you still essentially tell him, this, that, and the other. We ceased hostilities and basically let her leave. But you present that as we were de-escalating the situation. We didn't know exactly what was going on. We did de-escalated the situation as fast as we could. Nobody had been hurt up to that point. We figured. So he takes it more like, well, they just stopped the fight as quick as they could to make sure nobody got hurt. It's a shame she got away. Shucks. But, you're a stranger here. You were just preserving everybody's well-being. Fair enough.
But as long as we're telling the truth, what is this about killing people like her?
I don't think there is anybody else like her. But yeah, she talks about that all the time, like it's an actual thing. And I mean, if you want to talk historical, sure, centuries ago, people would be unjustly accused of that sort of thing, and terrible things were done to them. But that was centuries ago. We're not a superstitious people anymore.
Oh, well, we were like that too.
I would imagine that most cultures probably go through something similar. We had completely essentially no one on the planet believed any magic or sorcery or the supernatural, really. At least not until we got out into space and began encountering things like the Tuatha. Pretty sure they're just a very advanced race though. But yes, Malab has been declaring herself, witch queen of the planet or whatever. And going on about things for about 3 years now, I guess. She talks about avenging, those that were wrongfully killed. But like I said, that was centuries ago.
Unison pauses for a moment. Is she possessed by the wristband thing she has? Looking towards the rest of the team. Do you think she might be possessed by it?
I mean, maybe. Cursed jewelry isn't the weirdest thing we've had to deal with.
My impression, and I could be way off base, but I thought that she was more or less enslaving the Great Bajord with her wristband.
Well,
Yeah, I was trying to get a beat on exactly what that was.
Where Independence Ray is joined with his, I think she was entrapping one or binding one with that band.
Okay, DM's raising his hand.
If
DM's got a question. DM's raising his hand with a question. Where did y'all come up with armband from?
Oh, I thought
The way that-
she had an armband item that was glowing.
That was a
technically
ring.
what we-
She was wearing rings.
Oh, sorry,
oh.
rings. That's my bad.
It's a minor thing, but it may come up later, so I want to make sure we had it straight.
Yeah, sorry, rings.
Yeah.
It's been 2 weeks since we played. The rest of your theorizing is fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wasn't able to.
I was like, maybe the rings are like something that was magically something done to it, and she discovered it 3 years ago, and she's kind of like being puppeteered by something. Who knows? We're not going to be here long enough to crack that wide open.
About that time, the police officers around you, their comm units go off. And everybody give me awareness checks. Not for the comm unit thing, but for something else.
12.
Oh, yeah, I should probably roll difficulty, shouldn't I? So we know what
I got a
everybody
9.
Make an awareness check for nothing important.
I need y'all to roll a surprise check. There's no reason for it. No, sorry. So 8 was the number to beat. So Unison beat it. Recluse beat it.
And that's it.
Yeah, Independence Ray and Landshark did not. All right. As y'all talking, y'all think y'all hear, a block or two away, you hear some commotion. Like a crowd getting loud for just a moment. Then all the officers around you, their comms go off, telling you, she's made a reappearance. They rattle off, a street name that doesn't mean anything to you. But yeah, suspect, reappeared. Grabbed someone out of the crowd and is gone again.
Okay.
I would have thought she would have at least let us get off the planet before she made another move.
Is that Curtis saying that, or is that Landshark saying that?
Land shark.
So the police start scrambling in that direction.
Okay. Well,
All right.
I would like to pursue this. If nothing else, I want to know what's. I mean, personally, I just want to know what's. In addition to the rights and wrongs of what Malab's doing, I'm very curious about the Spjord connection. I mean, technically, we don't know that there's a Spjord in her. All we know is that she's able to access their power in some way. I mean, but I didn't actually detect a being within her. I mean, for all I know, she could just be tapped.
Yeah, I want some
I
more
don't.
answers to this question too.
Yeah.
All right,
Shall
well,
we?
y'all can follow the cops. They're not.
Yeah.
They hop back in their little cruisers and they go like 2 blocks down. It is the same direction that most of the crowd was running.
I mean, she's probably grabbed Vexlorp. That's who she was after. Ray, are we going after her?
Well, yes. It's the only thing we know for sure is that she's abducting someone against their will. So, and since we want to like find out what her deal is anyway.
All
Yeah,
right.
let's,
I would like to go on the record, though.
mhm.
You want to find out what her deal is. I want to go home. But you are the leader. As your power has been vested in you, I will follow your orders.
See, as a player, I'm trying to. I think Ray's trying to balance. Like he doesn't want to be a dictator, but on the other hand, it's kind of like as a military operation, he's the designated leader, but he also knows that. Well, anyway, we can hash that out
Yeah.
at the right time. But for now, let's do this.
All right, so y'all get down there. They're interviewing people in the crowd. And the crowd don't know who he was. It was some guy. He was just at the back end of the crowd.
Not Vexlorp.
The
Not that
crowd?
they.
Well, hold on, time out. It probably was, but who knows the son of a senator? Who knows
Right.
the son of a congressman? It's like your general
Unless you're
populace
Hunter
isn't going to
Biden
know
or-
it's the son of a government person.
Right.
The only way somebody
Unless
like that
you're-
gets to be well known is they do something really embarrassing and get on the news.
Okay. So she's ported away, most likely with magic. Um, is there any way is there any way I could like hone in on that energy signal I detected before? Is there another power spin?
I'm not sure exactly what power you would stunt for, but it seems like that ought to be a reasonable sort of thing you could try to do.
Not that you mention it. I mean, yeah, right now I'm just pulling comic book BS out of my butt right now. Because
That is the nature of the game, though.
dazzle, blast, and flight. I the only thing I could think of is if I just um, rely on my ongoing and evolving and growing knowledge of the great Spjord within me, and then I don't know, maybe you said the technology is advanced here. Maybe we go to a lab and maybe figure out some way to like have someone try to cobble together some technology that can detect at least energies that are similar to what I bear. Is that a thing that's possible?
That would certainly be possible.
Yeah. That's my best clue on.
Okay. And you hear people giving descriptions of what this guy looked like to the police. And while you're not great necessarily at picking out individuals of these people yet, the way they're talking about him being dressed sounds like Vexlorp. And you see the police officer get something. The one that seems to be in charge get something on his thing. Oh crap! He turns and I'm going to need to call this into HQ. One of the trashed vehicles back there, belonged to Vexlorp Desic.
Right.
And he, you see him tap, tap, tap. Everybody, and basically say over his comp, basically telling everybody on duty in this area, I'm sending you a picture. Keep a lookout for this man. Basically, VIP. If you see him, secure him. Make sure he is safe. And then he steps away to his vehicle to call in what has happened.
Can I go ahead and get 2 of Unison's airborne to see if they can see like some teleporting or anything?
You can get him
Maybe
airborne,
she's
take a look around, but
yeah, just maybe she's having to teleport block by block or something.
so yeah, you get up there, you
Yeah,
start looking around. Just give me an awareness roll.
14. That's right. I'm using Unison's best ability, which is the ability that has had so very few uses in Unison's active career.
Well, it empowers his general paranoia and surveillance of everything, so that's useful.
Several blocks away, there's like a little park area down there, which, as I mentioned last time, there's lots of greenery on the roofs of the buildings around here. There's lots of little small park areas. It's like every neighborhood has some little small green area. You see one of those ground-based portal things open up. You see something like you don't see anything, and then it's like something drops through the portal real quick. And then you see her become visible as she drifts down through the portal, and then the portal closes.
I'll give direction to the team and then start heading that way. Flight speed of 5.
All right, you get there pretty quick. Team, he alerts you. It's like straight down this road, take one little turn, and then there's that little green park area. Unison, you get there first. The area where you saw it, there is a circular area, about the size of one of those portals that you saw, or that you saw her come out of. Not as big as the one you saw the bigger critters coming out of. And the grass is about, I don't know, inch and a half shorter in that circle than the surrounding area. But like clean cut. Like the portal opened there and just sliced off, whatever grass, was in its way.
All right.
Or maybe it appeared and the top of the grass fell through the portal, who knows. But where it didn't leave a visible mark on the cement, but it may have been hovering like an inch above the cement, where hovering a little high here was still high. It was still low enough to cut grass or open up around grass or whatever.
But do I see her and Vexlorp?
No, she was dropping. Something fell through the portal, and then you see her become visible again as she drifted down through the portal.
Oh, and that something was not Vexlorp. Then
it could have been. Whatever it was invisible until about the time it was hitting the portal. So you didn't get, even with what you rolled, you didn't get a good look at it from this many blocks away. It's definitely something that could have been person-sized, though.
Well, I'm sorry. So they've gone back into a portal.
Correct. At this point, yes. You saw them going through the portal, so you know how she got it. Well,
back up in the air, looking again, is what you're telling me. I'm gonna have to do.
You go up, you look around, you don't see anything at this point, other than more patrol crafts seem to be patrolling the area.
I'll hit the comms with the team. It looked like she got to here, then hit another portal. We could have
May have a
Landshark
short range.
check discreetly to see if it's an underground base. Because she seemed to have a bit of a range limit, but if she went straight down, I wouldn't be able to see her. Or I can astral project and go straight down and see if I can find anything.
Discreet is my middle name.
Land discreet shark.
I thought his middle name was just Street.
All right, so y'all meeting
Actually,
it?
it's
Are y'all meeting it
Bruce,
with?
but
Are y'all meeting it with Unison at the park?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So you get there, you can see the little, where he's standing. You can see the little grass thing. Unison, while you were standing there, one of the locals approaches you, just asks you, "What was that?" I mean, I saw the lady had just appeared. I think I've seen her in the news. I think she's bad news.
Yeah. She's a lady who may or may not be both confused and in the possession of a dangerous item.
Well, she talks about being a witch when she pops up, so yeah, we just all kind of figured she was nuts.
Yeah. My people used to think that way about witches, too.
I've seen you on the news too. You're from a technologically less advanced world.
Yeah. Yeah. That is an accurate statement.
And about that time, the rest of y'all are showing up.
All right, so are we going to which way are we checking? Or are we checking?
check.
Well, yeah, if we operate under the theory that she might just have a really short range, if we keep scouting through the air like you did, maybe we can just keep locating her, and if nothing else,
I've still got some scouting in the air going on, but they're not seeing anything, which is why I think she might have gone underground.
Oh, okay.
Which presumably in the middle of a city there might be some like derelict sewer lines or something. I turned to the person there. Hey, y'all still use like underground sewer systems at one point in time in this city, I assume, correct?
Oh yeah.
Then yeah, she could have gone into the sewers.
He's like,
if her teleportation range isn't super large.
This guy quickly describes to you, most of the sewer is just handled through piping. But this is an old city. There were larger, in the old days there were larger sewage tunnels and stuff. They used to even run wheeled vehicles on rails underground. It's probably kind of freaky, but some of that stuff's still under there. Every now and then you get a news report about people going down and exploring some of the old tunnels or something. So there is old infrastructure down under there.
Well,
Bruce?
Ray, I'm gonna ask again. Do we have to have a sewer adventure?
Yes.
If nothing else, I know this isn't our planet, and I know we got to get home, but there's still, even setting aside the fjord thing, there's still a possibility of prolonged persecution. If she's
All right. How are we gonna get access to these derelict underground sewers to check for her?
Bruce? Do you think you'd be able to
Oh, I
open
don't have a clue how we could get to those.
Could you maybe, and Precluse gestures, like a hole is opening.
Yes. I'm just waiting for y'all to ask.
Can you do it in a way that doesn't mess up the
Please.
park?
Well, now you're being picky. I guess we'll have to go outside.
If you go outside, it's cement, or their equivalent. Besides, Bruce can fill in the holes he makes. He's got earth control.
Probably can't patch cement, but
Then we've got to go fast because she has got a lead on us. If that's where she is. I don't know that's where she is yet.
right.
I will go ahead and just dump an astral projection down in there from one of the copies.
All right. You pass through a layer of dirt and earth. Then there's some stonework. And then it opens up into something, but there's not enough light down there for your projections to really be able to tell what's going on.
All right.
There's just enough light that you can tell, okay, I am not standing in a solid object at the moment.
But I don't see any teleporting green circles or anything.
No, nothing like that.
Great. Yeah, okay, there's derelict sewers down there. It's entirely possible.
the chase is on.
All right. Is Landshark going to open up a...
Yeah, we need to find a discreet location to do it.
I turned to the civilian. Just to make sure, okay, can you contact the authorities and tell them that we are attempting to chase that lady, believing she has escaped into the old sewer systems?
Sure. He pulls out what you recognize on one of the local communication devices.
Thanks, because we don't have like a direct line, and I really don't want us to get in trouble if we accidentally do something we're not supposed to.
So yeah, he starts calling to you. So yeah, he steps back away from you. Hey, please, yeah. Hey, I'm speaking to those, off-world or hero guys. They said to tell y'all this. Yeah, we're at the park. He's rattling off where they're at. All right, so what are y'all doing?
I assume Landshark's going to make a hole and we're going to hop down it.
Yeah, we need to find a place in the park where it looks best to make a hole that's going to be,
Well, you know where you're standing at because that's where Unison went through. There's actually one of the tunnels or something down there.
Gotcha.
As opposed to anywhere else
we'll
you're
just
testing.
make a hole right here.
All right, the ground opens up. Your civilian buddy is like, "Whoa! They just opened a hole in the ground to get down there." Oh yeah, I'll stay here and make sure nobody just walks by and falls in.
Thank you, officer.
We can't deputize people. He's just a guy.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, citizen.
We literally can't deputize people here. We definitely can't.
I've got man with power.
Down the hole we go. I'll keep a copy above. I'll keep one copy above the hole to talk to the authorities if they need me.
Ray's going mad with power. He's going to drop the IN off of his name. He's now dependent.
Yeah.
He's now dependent to Ray. Everyone is depending on him. All right. As Ray drops down, Unison, there's suddenly plenty of light down here to see. And yeah, it looks very much like an old sewer. Well, it looks very much like the sewer tunnels back home. Just old. As if the sewer tunnels back home were old. Luckily, there's no smell, though. The air is a little stale, like it's been closed up for a while. But there's no sewage smell because it hasn't been used for that in so long.
Well, time to start flying copies down tunnels while we try to figure out where we want to go. I don't think any of us have any
There were so many
detection
traps.
powers.
I got danger sense, but I doubt that's going to be very useful. Like
No,
outside of,
no.
a gas leak maybe.
Other attacks. And I can fly as fast as what flight 8 gives me, and illuminate along the way.
Okay. All right. So everybody, you'll need to give me a roll. But before you do that, describe to me how you're searching. Because this is, you've got a fairly big area to search. Are y'all splitting up and just keeping in radio contact?
Let's see, how many of there are? This is Recluse, Ray, Land Shark, and Unison, so...
And Omniglot.
Did y'all
And
bring Omniglot with you, or did you leave her talking to the crowd?
You know what? I think we might. Do we want to just leave her up top? Because in this situation, I'm not sure how she might just in these cramped. Given the amount of land we have to cover, she might just hold us, slow us down.
It's true, she does not have a travel power.
She's one human body weight. I can have a copy hold her and fly, if that's the worry.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's bring her. Okay, we'll bring her down with us then. But yeah, okay.
Okay. All right, so y'all all spread out, or team up.
Is
or
it
whatever.
is it the labyrinth down here, or is it just like how often do tunnels branch out?
Fairly often.
Well, there's kind of a amazing situation.
It's like you're not sure if these things are following the patterns of current streets or not, but you get the feeling they probably followed along at least when they were older streets. So it's very much a grid pattern.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
wouldn't necessarily.
Also, from where we land, can I just do a quick check to see if there are 1 grass blades and 2 footprints in like the dust and dirt?
Mm-hmm.
Give me a roll.
9.
And this is not terribly difficult. So yeah, so you beat it by 4. Yes, there is grass down here. And there's a big... The dust has been disturbed in an area that looks like, somebody dropped a bag of potatoes or something there.
Does it look like it slid off in... Oh, there's not a whole bunch of liquid down here, is there?
No, it's almost complete.
Okay.
Well, there's a little moisture in the air, but it's pretty much dry down here. Like I said, it doesn't smell of sewage or anything.
Yeah, we're not drowning in poop.
Yeah. It just smells like this place has been sealed up a long time.
Okay, cool. She did teleport down here. We can follow the tracks. So I'm a genius. Let's go.
Well, you don't see tracks. You see where it looks like something. See the grass and where it looks like something heavy was dropped on the ground.
That's trailing.
And then that's it. Because remember, when she went through the portal, she was still flying. She was just floating down through the portal.
Yeah. But I mean, she is
So
down
she
here, so
flew.
we can find her.
Yeah.
If we pick the right direction.
Well, we can at least. Well, we'll have to. That's where we're. See, if we split up, how likely are we to be able to still keep track of each of those locations? I feel like we just end up getting. Do we have tracers on us? Oh well, you have tracers on me, but
Yeah.
do we actually have any kind of location sense ability with amongst us, or is it strictly communications?
Pretty much just the communicators, I think, and the tracking device they have on you.
As long as it's not too much strain on Unison, he could send a copy with us each.
Yeah, Unison could be our location detector.
We've got 3 copies available to toss out pretty easily.
Well, that's one for Landshark, one for Intense
Well,
Ray, and one for Earthbound.
Yeah, and I guess Omniglot just sticks with me.
Sure.
All right, so Curtis, how are you and your unison going to search?
Well, if I just walk down the thing, I'm at normal speed, but I can tunnel. Um, I'll make a mess of things, but I can be just like. 'Cause I think we pretty much established he can't really see where he's going when he's tunneling. But I could dolphin it and go a little bit, pop out of the surface.
Next question is, what light sources do we have?
That's a really good question because I don't.
I will burn a determination point to
Okay.
say that we all have like little personal mini flashlights, little tiny that were issued to us. Basically, little mini mag lights.
That makes perfect sense for a space mission. You know that you would have some baseline equipment guy just own you,
Yeah.
or maybe your comm units can brighten a screen like a flashlight, or have a light on it like cell phones do that you can use as a flashlight or something. That's fair enough. So
Torches like Frankenstein.
it's not full size mag light brightness or anything, but it's fine. I only watched the new Alien movie last night. I'm sure there's nothing creepy down here.
Nothing at all.
I heard that was pretty good.
It was quite enjoyable. They did a good job of kind of touching on everything to tie it into the universe without messing anything up because it was sandwiched between two of the previous movies. It was quite enjoyable. Though I've realized those kind of movies just don't scare me anymore. There was never that for me. There was never that kind of tension because I'm too familiar with the creature. It was just neat because going into it, you don't know if any of the cast are going to survive, which ones will. There was. I was interested watching it, but it's not like when I'd watch it when I was younger and it was kind of scary. But it was a lot of fun. I recommend it to anybody that likes that sort of thing.
They're still creepy.
Oh, there was some stuff in there that clearly Geiger isn't around to have designed it, but they definitely he'd have been proud of some of their designs. I think that man needed therapy. God rest his soul. But all right. So Land Shark takes off. He dives into the ground, following one of the tunnels. Every now and then springs up.
I'll have to grab whatever copy is going with me. Although we never established if he could actually take somebody with him when he burrows.
I thought we had you do that before. Of course, that might have been a power stunt. It's been long enough that I don't remember. I think you have to decide when you buy burrowing whether the burrow closes up behind you or whether you just leave that hole in the ground.
Oh, I'm sure if there was a choice, I would have left a hole in the ground because that's just sort of he's messy.
No, that's fair. And besides, if you're breaking the surface regularly, Unison's copy could always just fly along.
True, he can probably fly as fast as I can burrow.
So y'all take off down one tunnel. Unison, how are you and Omniglot breaking out y'all search?
Omniglot, do you have anything clever? Because otherwise, I'm just looking for evidence of potato sack drops on the ground.
Well, we know she's telekinetic, so she's probably flying and carrying him.
It's still wind motion. Maybe some dust gets distorted.
Possibly. That's going to be hard to notice with just a flashlight. But if she's
Yeah.
this place seems to be pretty well sealed off. I'm not even detecting a lot of drafts other from the direction we came where we left the hole in the ceiling. But if it's sealed off, if she got down here, it's sealed off. We need to look for locations that look like they're being lived in. So still look for the disturbed dust because she might not be flying around all the time. If she was planning this operation in this city, she may have a base built down here. By base, I mean she may have found a cut off section that she could, use as a facility.
From looking inside all the shops and everything, do they look like a race that needs lights?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Then yeah, she's going to be traveling to an area that's lit, so we can kind of try to get a general direction, and then we can go pretty quick until we see artificial lighting.
All right. Independence Ray, how are you and your unison going to search?
We're just gonna fly around. And Unison's flight was 6, I believe.
5.
So 5. Okay, fast. Yes, fast helicopter. Well, that's good because we don't want to be breaking the sound barrier here. I say we just, yeah, we just concentrate on speed, just looking, just scanning for really obvious signs of life. I think it's just as simple as that.
Okay.
For us, I would suggest we take whatever route seems like a straight line forward from our entrance.
Sure. Yeah, twists and turns will just slow us down.
Because if she knows this place, then she's probably, took an exit that has a pretty simple route to get where she's going.
Got you. Sure. Okay.
All right, so y'all jet along. Recluse, how are you and your unison going to search?
Gonna crawl along the wall and just check for any sort of disturbances in the dirt, anything that looks like it was dropped, like a pen, shoe, and just keep going from there.
All right. So I need a roll from each of you. Pick whatever attribute or power that you think would factor into what you're doing. I mean, for a lot of you, this will just wind up being awareness because y'all are just flying around as fast as you can looking. But if you could think of something else, that would factor in, feel free to toss it out there.
2 for investigation. Boop. Oof.
Are we going to put in investigation points in this?
Yeah, go ahead.
13.
The die roller seems to be very sluggish for me.
I'm just walking with Recluse. It's all right. She's trying to escape the police, so she'll take whatever the most convoluted, most confusing route to get where she's going is, to throw off anyone trying to chase her.
There goes. Wow. She is very evasive, I see.
Yep. All right, so Recluse got a 9, Landshark got a 7. Unison got a 13. And Independence Ray got a 9. 12 was the number to beat. Oh, I didn't roll for Omniglide. Somebody give me a D6 roll for Omniglide.
Sure. That's a 1.
Next time it'll be somebody else giving me a roll for Omniglide.
Oh, damn.
All right, so y'all are down here searching for close to an hour. In that time, you get contacted by Glexa, the mother of the family that y'all rescued, in case y'all forgotten her name. Basically, the police have contacted her, so she's got a direct line to y'all. She's acting as the, dispatcher or whatever between you and the police. They've got people at the park. They have that hole secure. They are dropping down teams into the sewers. Through y'all's comms, she sends you a map of the sewers. overlaid with kind of a map of where the city stuff in the city is now. Unison, you and Omnigod were already thinking, okay, they'd have to have illumination. So when you get that overlaid map, you start looking for areas where it'd be easy for her to tap into the local power system. I mean, sure, she could bring torches down here or batteries or something, but if you're planning to kidnap somebody important, reasonably there should be a lot of scouting and stuff that goes into that. So she may have been set. Omniglot figures she may have been set up here for a while. And that is where you eventually find an area that's the dust has been disturbed. And there is a section that's walled off that, once you find it and, it's not on the map, you're examining it. As you touch the wall, you pass through it. You realize she has set up some sort of illusion.
Fun.
Well, let's check out what's on the other side.
I don't think I get to mess with magic that often, honestly.
Spear really hasn't fought that many magical villains. Well, Gothic's magic, technically, but
maybe they mostly leave that to Wolfwitch or
the Haunted.
Is the Reliquary the good guy or the bad guy?
The Reliquary is the bad guy. The Crucible is the good guy.
Crucible. That was confusing.
Though they are related.
Okay.
So yeah, you find that illusionary wall. You can tell her, you can calm everybody else. Do you send the police the coordinates?
Do we?
I don't.
Yeah.
I'll let someone else make that
I
call.
mean, we have to. Yeah, I mean, I know this might be, the sides might be a little murky, but there is still a councilman's son.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, we don't know if they're fascists or not. Just to put it out there. We really don't know.
We don't. But I feel like if they were fascists, we would have gotten a sense of it before this came up. Like with in Ordu, it was obvious from the get-go. Here, it might be just a situation. Well, not just, but a situation where all the atrocities happened like centuries ago, and now it's back to haunt them only recently. But I don't. I think at this point we could still just prioritize the safety of Vexlorp and go ahead and give coordinates. Plus, odds are, does that sound cool?
You cut off during part of that.
Oh shoot!
You are the leader. What decision you make, I will follow.
It sounded like you were saying you're mostly just concerned about the consul's son.
Well, I think at this point that's the only clear priority we have. That this is someone who really is very likely just be an innocent bystander in all this. It's not like Vexlorp was doing any of whatever oppression might have happened here. So that inclines me to keep the police in the loop, just in case they get there before we do. I mean, maybe you make a mess of things, but I don't want to make that assumption. I think just whoever can get to Vexlorp first is the priority.
Okay. Y'all all can all, like I said, meet up at this illusion fairly quickly. And that's all it is, just an illusion, It looks like the same dim, grimy hall. If you shine a light on it, it just looks like you're shining a light on a brick wall. When you go to touch it, you pass through it. On the other side, there are lights set up in the hallways. Or in the not hallway, but in the tunnel. And they do not look like lights that are like part of what was originally down here. There are old light fixtures in the ceiling, but none of them are lit up. Most of them don't have anything you recognize as a bulb in it. So, and what's mounted on the wall looks like the equivalent of like LED lights that you'd buy in a strip. Just bright enough to you can easily walk through here and see where you're going. And with power, with the cords headed down further down the tunnel.
Recluse is gonna stick to the ceiling, and let's go, I guess.
Yeah, we gotta make haste.
Do it.
You go down a little bit further to what looks like may have been back in the day some sort of maintenance area. It's like you've got the tunnel and you've got like a little area over to the side. Where you see, platform up a little bit higher than the rest of the kind of the ground level of the tunnel. Doors against the wall. There's a table set up. This part is more brightly lit. This part is lit up like you would light up an interior room of a house. There are actual what look like some kind of maybe leather brown books. Though it's kind of a bluish green leather.
What color are the aliens here?
They vary. Blue, greens, grays. It did vary slightly.
So they're not necessarily pleather.
Plastic
We can
leather?
worry
No.
about the fleshonomicon later.
Yep, let's keep going.
And there's other, what you assume are accoutrements of occult activities. Like you don't see Ouija boards or something. You don't see much of anything that you can specifically identify. Because, whole other culture, whole other magical traditions. But Land Shark, you especially get the vibe of this. Yeah, this is a magic user. Because, when you're hanging around with Santa Luna, it's not like you recognize the individual stuff he keeps around to do that kind of work with. But it just has the generic look of like one of his one of his.
It's going to be awful, but I'm going to keep an eye out for something really interesting, cool, and alien to snag for him.
Well, there's a big green alien book there.
Oh, well, that is true. Please don't be skin.
Well, it's leather. All leather is skin.
I'll grab that.
I can only promise
Well,
you.
yeah,
I can
I'll
only
grab
promise
that.
you with absolute certainty that it is not human skin.
Right. I'll snag that. Just because, he's kind of he wants to find interesting stuff to bring home from the trip as a peace offering for being gone for so long.
My unison is going to slap your hand. Please don't kill.
What?
Please don't actively commit crimes.
It's not a crime.
Stealing is a crime. It's in the book,
Is it?
actually.
Bruce, buddy.
And no skin involved in that.
Bruce, buddy. Isn't your boyfriend literally a wizard? You should know better than this. Please don't accidentally get us all cursed. I don't want to
What?
be cursed on the way back home. Especially not with alien curses.
He opens the leather book without saying the magic words. Next season, Icons versus Evil Dead.
I'm not opposed.
I mean, out of character, we'd be fine with it. Bruce, we'll visit the souvenir store. Don't worry.
Like, fine. And if they're not looking and I get the chance, I'm sticking it in my vest.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna stop staring at you eventually, I guess.
All right. So anyway, like I said, and at the back of this platform, there's a couple of doors, kind of on the back wall. This little platform area looks like it's been swept clean. Like before somebody set up shop here, it's like they took a broom to it, or probably enchanted a broom to do it. Or they're super advanced. Maybe they used a leaf blower. Who knows? But it looks like it's been cleaned up and tidied up.
Okay, it's promising.
Omniglot's looking around on the tables,
any
perusing
other-
any other writing she can find. But she does not open any leather-bound books, though. Unison, you've got a high awareness. Give me an awareness roll.
12.
Oh,
Also a
wow.
12.
Oh,
Behind one of the doors, you faintly hear someone talking. But it's like very much Charlie Brown's teacher. You can just barely make out a...
I'll send an astral projection through invisibly first. So the Unison next to Recluse lies down and shoots an astral projection through.
Is the astral projection visible? Because I know you have that option.
Not currently visible.
All right.
Just need to get in there and see if it's her and if she's doing something wacky.
You stick your head through. You see Vexlorp, excuse me. He's laying on his back, shirtless. There are etchings all on his chest. Like she's taking a needle or just the very, very point of a knife and sort of scratch things in him. Not deep cuts. These are scratches. They are bleeding a little bit, but it's not profuse. About half of them look like they're already scabbing over. He appears to be unconscious. You spot the knife sort of looking implement that must have been used to do this, sitting on a little table next to him. Malab is sitting there in the middle of some sort of incantation. Light is spilling out of her hands. The room itself, there's etchings and stuff in the walls, or on the walls. Though these look like they're probably painted. I said etchings, but it's more like they're painted sigils and stuff.
All right. I will go ahead and start going for the door, and my copy will hover up next to her, and then just at very close range go, in a louder voice than normal. We said live to fight another day, to surprise her.
it's the same day.
This is the same day.
Give me a will roll. Since it's kind of a social thing, as you try to get up close to her and then just yell boo. Effectively. And this is versus her willpower.
12. I have a chance.
12. She gives a
Wow.
big start, but she catches herself and does not stutter in her speaking, though. Did you become visible when you did that?
Yes.
And then she kind of scrunches her face up at you like she looks unhappy, but she's still... If anything, she's chanting a little faster now. And takes a half a step away from you.
And the regular me is already going for the door,
All right.
letting everybody know she isn't here making chants over a living but carved up body of Vexlorp.
Oh, come on now. Okay, fine. Gonna go over there and, like... Is there, like, a...
Unison, you get there, you grab the doorknob. Well, it's more like one of those kind of handles you push down sort of thing. Which is kind of the common, mechanical doorknob these people use. And it's locked. And then Recluse steps up right behind you.
I'm just gonna push it open. Like, does it look like it's supposed to open inward or outward?
Outward.
Alright, I'm just gonna punch my hand through it and just pull it open.
Okay, and you are incredibly freaking strong, so we're not even going to bother with a roll for that. This is a fairly heavy door, but, for a normal... This would be hard for a normal person to get through. So, yeah, you just jab an arm through where you can get a good grip, and then you just rip the thing, off its hinges. Toss it to the side.
Hi.
The chanting starts to falter at this point. And she stops. I thought you weren't going to get involved.
We said wait a day so we could leave.
They'd have put him under guard.
Did it have to be this guy specifically? Or is it just like you already made the preparations and you didn't want to go to waste? Like, what's the fixation on him specifically? Aside from him being a relative of a alderman or counselor.
Consul.
Consul, excuse me. Thank you.
It's his father in particular that I need. Who's the cooperation I need to begin fixing things.
Begin fixing things. Okay, so can we ask you a couple quick questions? Like, is this mass slaughter something that is currently ongoing in this time period? Or are you a time traveler? Or are you an entity or force of will possessing that body?
All right, give me a willpower roll.
And can I add persuasion to that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, wow.
We keep minorly succeeding.
She looks doubtful at all the weird stuff you just rattled off. But, it's like, okay, I think he's serious. They've slaughtered my people down to where there's very few of us, so are there regular slaughters now? No, because we've gotten the ones of us that have survived have gotten much better at hiding. Do I think for an instance one of us could walk out and announce what we are and not immediately die? Well, no, of course not. Give me another will roll. This time, all of y'all give me a will roll.
Ooh.
Yes.
My diary was really slow.
Alright, so she beat all of you. So yeah, she's very emotional while she's saying this. You're left with the impression that she's being truthful with you.
Well,
and she ends up going, please, I'm not going to harm the young man.
in
By any chance, was this a role where mental resistance could have come in handy?
No, it was not. This was
Okay.
just her talking to you. This was not a spell or a power or
Oops.
anything.
Look, you've harmed him already.
Okay, Mike, you had cut off there. What was it? What would you just said? Oh, he may still be cut off.
Oh, well, I say it looks like you've harmed him already.
Scratches just for the ritual. They're not even going to leave scars, I assure you.
Look, in our world, I mean, of course, we come from a different world, but our history has had, even now, similarities in how a minority with special powers can get treated with. Our in our world, the way that not eliminated, but certainly is by not proving them right. Uh, it's so that's how we did it. I don't know if you can
Well, I can definitely relate to being
see the way
feared
they
because of
tried
my
to.
powers.
Yeah, and yet you fight the good fight. And, hey, look, you're on Spear now. America's embraced you. Hooray. I don't sound it.
Oh, I thought I was just a
Um,
teacher.
the, oh, I don't. Oh, well.
And
Are we
Kaiju
are we
Wrangler.
getting into drama? Is drama happening now?
I mean, you
Um, in any event, Ray would. Oh, sorry. Well, Ray would ask Malau, or basically he's trying to persuade her that maybe it's, that might be the way to go instead of like terrorizing and blackmailing people into addressing your grievances.
I think that is likely a naive assumption. But I'm not looking for conflict with you. We've already proven that fighting, me trying to fight the five of you, well, four of you, because Omniglot never got into the fight. And she's hanging back outside the room even now.
just can we at least know what you're attempting to do here in a slightly more specific than just righting the wrongs?
No. You're on too friendly a terms with the people in power.
I don't know the people in power.
Honestly, not really.
I watched invisibly when you first began speaking with the police. They were very accepting of you. And you seem to be trying to do their job.
We're attempting to have as few people die as possible. That's what our job was before the whole intergalactic war we had to get involved in.
Yeah, she heard something about that, but she didn't pay much attention.
I can assure you, well, I can assure you that we are not. It's not like we're united in automatically carrying out the will of the people of Gakrad. We're only here in the first place because some of the people were used as pawns to attack us, and we wanted to return them here because we were primarily interested in just getting home and protecting innocence. And we're not ruling out that you may be one of the aggrieved innocents here. That's why we haven't just gone in blasting. Um, but at the same time, I guess so. We just want the maximum good for everyone involved, you as well as and your whatever you and your heritage as well as the people of Gagran. And
Dude laid out on
here
the
you are.
table for ritual sacrifice is bad optics.
I wasn't sacrificing him. You can examine him. They're just scratches.
I don't
He's
think.
fine.
I don't think. Well, I don't think. Well, no one here. No one of Gakrad knows that because you.
Because
And
they burned
maybe
all
if
of us in our
someone were to
books.
actually, instead of like just, don't you think it would be better to just like, well, they were people driven by superstition and ignorance. Now
The argument is that now they are still doing it, but in secret. Ray?
maybe you should. Yes, I'm sorry.
Your group seems to be of mixed feelings about this.
They are.
If I cannot
are.
convince you to give me the boy or the young man, as I said, we've established I can't defeat the four of you. Perhaps I should just go.
Time out. We're not saying you can't do whatever ritual you're doing. We just need to know that what you're doing is not endangering him or killing him or torturing his soul or putting something like we just need to know what you're doing. We can totally allow it if it's benign.
I am putting some long-term compulsions into him.
Okay, that's
So
on
that I
the
may
negative
use
side right now.
that I may use to communicate with his father, and if his father proves to be obstinate, to make him fear for the boy. Fear that I have complete control over him, though what I'm doing would not. I couldn't compel him to harm himself. It's
You could just make
more
him
of a
say
bluff.
I know you have
things.
great power. I know you have great power, my love, but you're outnumbered. You're not gonna win if you're gonna fight with violence. It's just not gonna happen. The only way to stop them from fearing is to teach him teach him what your philosophies. Let him actually like. I think the dialogue is the only way we're going to get out. Like we're all going to get out of this alive. The more they know about you, the less they'll fear you. I believe. I really feel like that there's a potential, and that if you just but if you come at them if you come at them knives out, they're going to strike you down, one way or the other,
Give me a willpower.
whether we're here or not.
Give me a willpower roll for Independence Ray, with a +2.
Okay. I'd also like to spend a determination to activate Proud Gay American and try to put forth the case for LGWC quickly. I'm definitely going for that Captain America trust the system kind of vibe.
You got to work within the system to change the system. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fine. So that gives you a total of a +4.
Yeah, hopefully she doesn't find out about I mean, you know,
Yeah.
6 + 2 + 2. That's hope she does. Hopefully, Bob doesn't like pry into our own like American history too deeply. Why did I roll twice? Oh, that's the last roll. Okay. No, she's not buying it.
I understand everything you
Not even
said,
a
but
little
Ray's
bit.
really smart.
Is your willpower 2?
No, it's 4.
Then you rolled a 12.
Plus, oh, wait, that's wrong.
Yeah, you rolled a
That's
d6.
completely
You rolled
wrong.
the d6 and you gave
I
yourself.
forgot to add my attribute.
Yeah, you did not add the attribute.
Yeah,
That's what
so
that is.
you got a
The
12.
+2.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, no, I got a 13. My willpower is 5.
Hey.
Oh, again,
All right, so you beat her by
I
1.
barely squeaked to the victory once
You
again.
beat her by 1.
By
Your
1.
your argument sounds very reasonable, and the more reasonable you talk, the more agitated she looks, until finally she just starts screaming at you that she's not the one that has to be patient. It's like a facade cracks, and as she rants about growing up in this place, and how wrong this world is, you start to get the impression of her that, how do I want to put this? She's not happy with things. She wants to change things. It's not really about changing things like for the betterment of larger number of people. She starts to sound like a supervillain ranting almost. You know how Dr. Doom will talk about how his way is the best way, kind of that kind of thing. But it's like you offering these, more reasonable probably examples.
Yeah.
It's like cracking
was persecuted as a kid too, and
the line, the arguments that she has like pre-done, just like it's cracking through it.
Yeah, now we're getting to the trauma underneath the cause. Sadly.
But it's like she's realized that she has, made a faux pas and revealed herself a little bit. So then she just gets quiet, and there's just this awkward silence for a moment.
Yeah.
And you hear Omniglot in the back, kind of poke her head in the door. How many actual magic people do you know on this planet?
I think that was from Malou.
She seems to be talking to Malab, yes. And Malab opens her mouth to talk, closes it again, opens it again. I may be the last. I don't know.
Have you ever met another magic user?
I found some of their writings.
So you came down here and found the writings and taught yourself magic?
I don't think my origins are important at the moment.
Do you know that the ring you're wearing contains the energy of a Spiorid?
She holds up the hand where she's got, 3 rings.
Sorry, one of them. I don't specifically know which one. The one he was trying to pull it out of previously.
Yes, it contains a star sheed. I think that's what she called me, a star sheed.
That's a living creature trapped.
Look, and
Trapped
know what
millennia
we're talking
ago.
about, at least in this case, because I have the being.
What was that part, Ray? Or Mike?
Oh, well, actually, as Malab says that, I would counter that. Perhaps we could all agree that is no what we call in our world statute of limitations on wrongdoings.
Well, and I'm going to point out that trapping, this creature for millennia is definitely no better than what happened to the magic users on this planet hundreds of years ago. But the creature can be freed right now.
I don't know how to let it out of the ring if I wanted to. And it doesn't have a conscious mind anymore.
Oh, so it's just terrible. You think it's just gone insane?
The
Or comatose or something like that.
Yeah.
well, its history is in. She gestures behind you. The book back there, the green one. It's a Graborum written by a.
Oh,
The word she says translates basically like your translator's basically turned into the like archmage or something. A millennia ago that created these rings. It's how I found out that the rings existed and managed to track them down. The full story's there.
would you?
Everybody
maybe
give me
at some point
everybody give me a
repeat
willpower
said
roll.
Story?
Everybody give me a willpower roll. 11 is the number to beat.
Got a 12.
Good job, Recluse.
I will look a little guilty when she mentions the book.
Kind of.
So she says that everybody except Recluse kind of glances back the way she pointed. And then she turns around and all those glyphs on the wall. She touches one and a much larger, slightly different color, but it still looks more or less like one of those portals she do on the ground, opens up on the wall and she goes to step through it.
No. I'm going to try and wipe her out.
All right, give me an initiative roll first.
And coordination.
Coordination.
Oof. Ah.
And she's through the portal. Do you try to follow? Because as soon as she's through, it starts closing, but it's a decent. This one opened up like doorway size where you could walk through.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's do it.
might as well. We're already this deep into it. Pretty sure we're just getting into a fight with a LARPer at this point. Molgoth, Doctor Strange.
All right, so you spring forward. Portal's getting. The rest of you don't get the shot because y'all all turned your head.
Only Recluse can go.
So give me. You know what? You don't even have to roll. So you spring forward.
That's right. Sorry.
You hit. You're confident the portal is still open, but when you hit, you just bust through the wall, and you're in another like storage room or whatever the room y'all were in, whatever it was. There's something very similar on the other side, and you just basically smash through the wall into the next room. The rest of you, your heads whip around as you see that portal kind of wink shut. With the wall behind it, smashed through, and Recluse is like picking himself up off the ground in that other room. You're not hurting anything. You just, it's not the first time you smashed through a wall, probably.
Just embarrassing. I take it I don't see her.
Nope.
Oh, that was a waste of time.
Well, we can at least take Textbook back.
Yeah.
Service.
And his shirt's laying over in the corner of the room, discarded.
You someone try to get out of here.
Yeah.
As y'all start moving him around, he kind of wakes up. What's going on? Who are you? Oh wait, you got me out of the car.
Mm-hmm.
She showed up again.
She did.
And he kind of looks down at his chest. He looks down at his chest where he's got all these little glyphs in a circle. What?
We
What is this?
stopped
What did
her
she do?
before she finished the ritual. She was going to put some compulsions on you to scare your dad.
No. She can't actually be a witch. No.
I mean,
It's got to be some kind of. But he's looking around like not seeing any sort of scientific equipment or devices.
like champ magic is just a thing that does exist.
Yeah, it's on our world. There's a lot of other cultures that have their own magical traditions. Like, y'all probably had yours, and this might be the last vestiges of it. Like, y'all did some pretty messed up stuff. The witch queen back there. I think she's basically just read up on this stuff, learned a thing or two, and now she's just don't worry too much about her. Like,
Well, I mean, no, she's definitely run across like ancient magical relics, and she's the only person that knows how to track them down. She's going to be a threat.
yeah, it's just more.
He starts putting,
Yeah.
if y'all give him his shirt, starts putting it on. If he looks around and sees it, he'll start putting his shirt on, like he really wants to cover up whatever that crap is. So there's magic on your world.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
much
yeah.
our world. Like, I'm technically like this because I'm in good with some god.
Oh,
Kind
boy.
of a wide-eyed up and down.
Yeah, gods are
I-
real.
My partner's a magic user.
Yeah, one of the top wizards on the planet.
We're about to be.
I feel like we're throwing a little too much of this guy all at
I have a
once.
feeling we're going to be
Sir,
very unwelcome.
The
Yeah.
authorities on your world are on their way here to make sure you're safe.
Oh, thank God. Well, he doesn't say that, but he says, well, your translators probably translate what he says as that.
Thank Einstein.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm terribly sorry that this has happened to you, but she was unable to complete what she was attempting to do.
I'll need more security from now on.
You will want to be watched for a few days just to make sure that nothing has been compelled upon you,
Of course.
as is standard practice. Well, would be standard practice. You don't have a standardized practice for this yet. You will.
That's true.
Honestly, the second most intelligent person on the system of magic she has been attempting to use is probably Omniglot over there at this point.
Omniglot just looks at you funny.
Why, I assumed you... Second most means you know the titles of the books in the room.
Oh, well, that's fair. And there's some kind of
Considering
meaning
she's saying
and there's
she's
some kind
the
of meaning to most
last
of these
one. Yeah.
glyphs, but I can't quite pick out what it is yet. Because they're just on the wall. There's no context to them.
Does it look anything similar to any human magics we know of?
None that I've examined, which admittedly is not a whole lot.
That's fair. So, yeah, you're gonna want the police to be very careful when exhuming anything from this place. She has appeared to escaped. Yeah, she is someone essentially seeking vengeance for a thing that happened a long time ago.
Oh, yeah. I've seen the news talk about her before. We just thought she was a loon. Or that was just a extravagant story to cover whatever it was she was actually doing.
It still could be, but
He steps out of that little room into the platform and starts looking around.
Well,
This is
the only thing we were
the
certain
old
of
sewer
contact
infrastructure.
with her, but she believes her story.
Oh, well, then she's back to being crazy.
I think the best way to just offering some outworlder advice here, but I feel like maybe the best way to resolve this situation is to not, despite, even though she's acting provocatively, don't, you know, don't give her a reason to fear you. Don't. It seems like you've got a exterminate at all costs attitude towards anyone who practices magic. At least that's what your history has said, and which others of your people have admitted
It's
to us.
centuries ago. Centuries ago, there were witch trials over superstition.
I see on this planet you don't have a lot of experience with like multi diversity and like it seems like you've got a pretty homogenous society here, and we come from a planet that is not that. And one thing we can assure you is that aggrieved minorities will not. There's no again. I'll use the phrase of our world. Um, I've already forgotten the phrase. Look, that those grievances don't go away even with centuries of time, and unless you actually work to resolve those differences, you can't just. It's not going to be useful to just say, "Oh, that happened so long ago," because for them, the wrongs and the harms that they're aggrieved about are every day.
Yeah, maybe you're
And
right.
I think
I can bring it up to my father, I suppose.
Unison will put a hand on Ray's shoulder. Hey, Ray, love you like a brother. This is a person who is part of their society, ran across books, learned magic, and then decided they were part of the magic people group. I'm pretty sure anyone on their planet can learn this. Like,
well,
she,
that's my concern.
decide,
Well,
she decided to say she was part of a group of people that were hurt long ago. She's a person from upstairs who walked down to the basement and read some books and decided to pretend to be a hurt person.
Well, just hear me out here. Let's say there are other there. I wouldn't surprise me if there were other magic practitioners here, and maybe they're all living in hiding because I get what you're saying. I know this isn't like someone who's been directly. I know this is someone who hasn't been directly oppressed from from like centuries ago. I get that she's someone who identifies with what she sees as a persecuted minority from history, and maybe her reasons for affiliating with that are maybe it's all bound up in personal parent issues for all I know. Uh,
Everybody, give me a
I
will
just
check, or I mean, an awareness check, please.
I just wonder
Sure.
if she's who's that?
Should,
14.
Oh, okay.
do we need to add anything to it, like investigation, occult?
No, nothing like that.
Oh,
Okay,
everyone.
Okay, that's a 9.
Okay, so does everyone give an awareness check?
Yes. Everybody in the room.
In my die roll.
Taylor, give me a roll for Omniglot. Okay.
So, roll of a 4 for Omniglot.
Gotcha. So Tyler, when you're breaking down, look, she just from upstairs. She came down here. She read a book. She identified the people she had upset. There's some emotion that goes across Vex Lorp's face.
Oh.
It's just there for a brief second. None of y'all, the rest of y'all notice it. And then y'all keep talking. And Vorslop's like, can we get out of the sewer, please?
Yeah, we can get you out of the sewer.
I'm sorry. Which one of us knows? Is that just Reckless who knows that, or let's
No, it was just Unison that
let's
noticed.
get above ground.
What can I identify the emotion at all from this race of beings I've spent some time with
Yeah.
them on the ship. I know base emotion.
It was like annoyance or a little bit of anger for just a second.
Okay. We're always saying you're welcome.
You're in an alien world. You just have no idea what's going on. And if you do have an idea, you have no idea if you're right or not.
Well, that's for sure. That,
But yeah, if there's nothing else you want to do, y'all can walk him back to the illusionary wall. And did you tell I forget, did you tell the police where the wall was?
I think we did.
Okay. So by the time you get there, so the police are, are sitting there. They've just crossed. They've just crossed the wall. It's like they're a little freaked out by the wall, and they're as you're coming up, you hear one of them say, "There's got to be a holographic projector around here somewhere."
Oh, actually, before we leave, no, I'm going to be open about this. I'm not going to try to be subterfuge about this. I'm going to. Before we go up to the police, I'm going to take the Green Grimoire, and I will wait to see if anyone has anything to say about it.
That was already in Bruce's vest if no one was looking when he grabbed it.
And there would have been a time when everybody was charging the door that nobody had been paying close attention. So yeah, when y'all stepped back out there, the Green Grimoire was just gone.
Okay, never mind.
Bruce,
that's probably just a thought that. Okay.
What book?
I'm gonna look. I'm gonna say. Actually, I in this case, I'm going to agree with Bruce. At least for not to keep it. We're not taking it home, but I want to at least give Omniglad a chance to read it and try to find out more about the tale of the Star Sheet that Malab had referred to.
Landshark was sitting there going, "What book?"
Was it the book or the Siggles that? I'm talking as if we all know what happened. He was expressing interest in before.
You know the book was gone. Unison just asked him.
I'm actually on his side of
Unison just asked Landshark, or asked him, Bruce, do you have the book? Bruce responded with, what book? How convincingly does Bruce say that?
He's not a good liar.
Then it sounds like opposed willpower checks. Alright, 7 is the number to beat. Yeah, Unison, you're very convinced that was not a sincere. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. That was like a little kid who was eating, who ate a cookie he was supposed to. Who ate that cookie? It could have been anybody.
Crumbs falling out your mouth.
Yeah.
You know what?
Tightens his arm around his vest where he's hiding it.
I just looked to Ray. I'm not in charge right now. So I'm not going to deal with this. But you know what we have to deal with.
I'm guessing long-term clarifications on command structure.
No, we have a kleptomaniac in our team.
Oh,
Maniac.
oh. Well, that's. I mean, has he tried to do this before? I feel like that might be. I feel like that's. Unless there's a big problem I'm unaware of, I don't think. Bruce, do you have something to tell us?
Look, Unison is right. These people could all be magic users, and what's going to happen to their society when they find this book? I'm saving them from themselves. They'll kind of,
Bruce.
they'll
Bruce?
kind of pout like it.
I want you to say that a second time and then believe yourself not to have said a supervillain line.
It's
I missed the
not for me, it
supervillain
was
line.
for
What did you
Jay.
say? Well, I think if Jay were here right now, what do you think he'd say?
Fine, he'll hand over the book.
Now, hear me out here. I just my only interest here is I'm still trying to learn as much as I can about how the Starsheet work, and how it might be possible to find a some any kind of resolution to this being that's trapped within me. I don't want. I feel like I'm more and more. I feel like I'm like a walking prison, and I don't want to subject it to another person. And if the information in this book could provide any kind of shed any kind of light how to resolve that, that's something I want to try to pursue. Um, and I know that's bounds away from our official mission of just getting back home. And I don't want to. I'm not a you know perhaps despite opinions to the contrary, I'm not trying to run a dictatorship here. I do appreciate the indulgences you've given me to date. I don't take that lightly. Um, as soon as I just want to, if Omniglut chooses to, I would like to give her a chance, if she wants to try to read this tome. Only for only this Fjord stuff. I don't want her learning any kind of occult rituals. Hopefully, the book has a nice index. I don't know, but
Yeah.
we could turn it over to the authorities after that's done. Is everyone okay with that plan?
Omniglot walks up to whoever's got the book. It's kind of like makes kind of a gimme, gimme, gimme motion. But she tells you, yeah, I'm fine with turning it over to the authorities. Let me see if I can find anything.
And only look for Fjord stuff. Don't I would say at first just skim it to try to find mention of the Starsheet, because this isn't like an all access paid master class in the occult. That's not what I'm trying to give you here.
So as y'all are walking, she's flipping through it. She's like, okay, there's definitely spells in here, but that's kind of its own occult language. That would take that would even take me a little while to figure out without any sort of outside context. Some of it just appears to be an older style of their spoken language or their written language. So she's starting to figure that out by the time y'all get up to the holographic wall or the illusionary wall where the police are. As soon as they see y'all, the police kind of rush up to you. Not guns out, sort of rush up, but they run up. They ask you what happened. They're talking to Vexlorp, and he said, "Oh, I'm fine. There's some scratches on me, but they saved me from anything else." And they want to get him back, to the entryway y'all made, and up top where they've got their equivalent of EMTs ready to give him a going over to make sure. Check him, make sure he wasn't drugged, make sure he didn't have any like nanotech pumped into him, or And they send like forensics guys and regular officers down to making sure the area down back where y'all came from is clear, and then they're gonna go over that with a fine-tooth comb, gathering evidence. They're not gonna let Omniglot leave not the facility, but leave the premises.
Scene.
Yeah, they're not leave the premises with the book, but they are fine with her leafing through it while they're doing all this information, where they're doing their thing.
Okay.
I'll still pout. It's like alien magic would have made a great peace offering.
Well, maybe we'll find a planet on the way home where there are wizards that we can actually like reason with, and maybe you can figure out something then.
So y'all get out. Omniglot hangs around for another hour or so reading through the book. And then giving a police a rundown of what she's figured out, the book says. It's very old. She really wishes she'd known. Well, she's really glad she wears gloves after she finds out what the book's made out of.
Oh,
No, the police are fairly creeped out. The police are fairly creeped out by that as well. I mean, it is obviously old, so it's not like they're got anybody recently missing they're looking for. But y'all get back to the surface. Detail of the police. There are reporters there, and you guys are the government team. You are used to speaking to the press. The press here are a little more orderly. It's like you don't know how they have it set up, but it's like they kind of, even from different organizations, it's almost like they take turns asking questions. Not everybody's just shouting things.
Just that homogenous society again.
It's just kind of nice, It's like, but the news on this planet is also almost more of a public service sort of setup than a corporate sort of setup.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, way different from Earth.
Yeah. I mean, it's but then, they ask you, hey, what happened, this, that, and the other. Apparently, anytime this woman pops up, it's big news just because of how odd and weird she is. But they try to get questions at Devorp's, ask Vexlorp question, and he answers a few. I'm fine. It was very traumatizing. Though I was unconscious for part of it, when I woke up and the off-worlders had saved me. He's very appreciative of that. Man, now if you'll excuse me, I need to. They're going to take me by the hospital to get checked out before I go home. Please get reports. You talk to the reporters, like I said. You get back to Glex's apartment where y'all are, kind of staying with family. You're contacted shortly thereafter by the office of Consul Zorsek, who is Vexlorp's father. And once the functionary that calls establishes that he's got the right place and y'all are on the line, he transfer you to Zorsek himself, who he wants to take this opportunity to thank you for saving his son. It was a very but thankfully it wasn't a long drawn out thing, but it was very very stressful. He has no idea what this criminal's intent was towards what kind of pressure she was wanting to put on him or what for. And he invites you to an official function the next night. A sort of it's like a big shindig they put on every year for the not the foundation of their government. It's not like their Independence Day.
Or their Independence Day.
But it's a holiday kind of celebrating how long they have been at peace.
The anniversary of executing our last victim, which
But so it's kind of a shindig. He'd like you to be there. In your full native regalia. So basically, like your superhero costumes.
Yeah.
And it's more of a social thing. This is kind of the official get together, but it's more of a social thing than anybody giving political speeches or whatever. But it'll give him a chance to thank you in person, and his Sheriff Exlorp would like to thank you again.
I would turn to my fellow peer agents and ask, how do we feel about this?
Is the call on mute?
I would be assuming that it was like a like speakerphone essentially. But yeah, you could mute the mic right quick, easily enough to ask your guys this question. So sure, it's muted.
It's either a trap or we're about to find out some really messed up stuff about this planet, but yeah, probably won't hurt to pop over there. And hey, free food.
Yeah, my immediate concern is, does Zorzik announce some radical history making initiative with us as a backdrop for political purposes? I don't know, but you still feel that you still want to attend?
Yeah,
They want us to go in costume.
There's always the possibility that the Witch Queen, I keep forgetting, Morgoth. What?
Malaub.
Malab will try to make another appearance, and yeah.
If she does, that gives us another chance to free that Spjord that's trapped.
Yeah, there's that too.
I feel a little bad leaving that because,
Even if it's, technically brain dead or comatose, at the very least, putting it out of its misery is something we could try to at least do. Or at least return it to its
or at least
people, and they, yeah.
Yeah.
Like returning the remains.
If we're all in agreement, then yeah, right. To return it to the Great Nebula or whatever they believe of an afterlife. Return it back to Eve. Guest star. No. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Then I'll go ahead and I guess we'll unmute and graciously accept the invitation.
Wonderful. He will send a. Your translator would probably translate a car, but it's probably gonna be one of them flying doohies. But he'll send a vehicle by to pick you up. Y'all set up the times.
I like to think that that's what the translator actually said.
Feel free to bring your host family if you'd like. They do allow a certain number of just the public,
Yeah,
if they want to come.
That could be a quite nice feat, I would imagine.
So that's like the next night. So y'all got it basically a day. Omniglot fills you in on what she got out of the book in the meantime.
Yes.
And she's been on, Glex's, the family's computer, basically, doing all kinds of historical research on the planet, which she'd already done to some degree. But yeah, written by, an ancient archmage. She's like this that book was super well preserved for how old, as old and decrepit as it looked, it was super well preserved for how old it is. So that thing has got to be a couple of thousand years old at least. Based on references that he makes in his writings versus what I could find historical, context for. Like their equivalent of early medieval, and of course they're more advanced than us, so that's some ways back. But yeah, apparently he made 3 rings. One that increased his magical might. So just a ring to enhance the raw power he had with his magic. And there's all kinds of notations about that. That not really being a substitute for skill. But he seemed to think that magic was waning on his world. Which might explain why there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of magic users modern day. One ring to increase the power of his mind. So maybe that was a ring to make him smarter or something, or I don't really know. Though as she says that, she catches your eye in unison and gives you like a brief, hard look.
Mm.
And then the final ring, that word she was using, Starsheed, it does appear to just be the local's name for the Great Spurids. Apparently they were somewhat known on this world back then, like they visited occasionally or something. He references what I can only assume is a much earlier myth of someone meddling with one where it unleashed its power. So he knew they were powerful. And so he created this ring to try to capture one.
Only one ring is associated with the Starsheed, though. The Fjord.
It was the 3rd ring he made, so presumably he was using the other 2 to help capture it. The page where he is talking about his preparations for capturing it and what he's done to draw it in, that's the last entry in his handwriting.
But
The
is that
following,
the last entry?
it is not. There's another page written by, I guess it would translate junior apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently he trapped the creature, but then when he placed the ring on his finger, it burned him to a crisp. Like charred corpse is how they describe what happened. His primary apprentice, foremost apprentice, translation's a little wonky. Then tried to claim the ring, and the same thing happened to him. The junior apprentice was basically just going to hide all the rings.
Sounds like a good idea, honestly.
Apparently, he felt his master had, as powerful as he was, had finally meddled in things mortals were not meant to meddle in.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like he was only worried about the Starsheed ring.
Then at some point it was found by Malala.
But the rings look identical, and he was not willing to risk putting one on and it being the one that would kill him. So he just hid all the rings.
Fair.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good. That seems like a design flaw.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Well, I'm sure if the Archmage knew one of the rings would kill him, he just wouldn't have used that one. That's the design flaw.
Oh, wow.
Now, how in the
Very
world
well.
the equivalent of a Hot Topic goth managed to find this stuff, I have no idea.
it wouldn't be the first time an innocent person with no magic knowledge came across an artifact of great power.
That's a fair point. It's mathematically very unlikely thing to happen, but it's happened so many times just on Earth.
Kind of a comic book thing. Right.
Maybe that's why they have listed that here. Maybe it's a probability thing. Maybe certain areas. And then she just sort of drifts off in thought. Like she's trying to figure out why our comic book like world is so comic book like. But eventually she snaps out of
It's
it.
about to break the fourth wall.
Eventually she snaps out of it and fills you on the historical research she's done. Because she's like, yeah, I'm looking back through things, and yeah, there's stories of witch trials and stuff way back when they were primitive essentially. But just like on our world, some of those things certainly happened, but then some of them, the story over time was overblown as to how much was going on. Like in real history, the Inquisition did not kill a lot of people because they thought they were witches. The Inquisition tended to actually be pretty skeptical of those kind of claims.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly just tortured British sailors for not being Catholic, that sort of thing. So, not great, but not necessarily how history remembered them. And she's like, that's seems to be the basic history here. I'm not saying there couldn't be a big dark conspiracy, but I'm finding no reference to anybody doing actual magic other than her. For quite a ways back. It's a shame y'all didn't bring an actual wizard with you. They might be able to give us some insights.
Well, there weren't a lot of wizards available.
Yeah, and I know some of them didn't want to come.
And also, I kind of designed this team around, warfare and you, and that was kind of it. I wasn't expecting a months-long journey home on the other end of the galaxy. So this party's tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Y'all got. It's like late afternoon by this point, getting evening. So y'all got tonight and then most of the day. And the party's like at the equivalent of starts like the equivalent of 5 p.m.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and stand up. Everyone, if you have any last minute things you want to tell Earth, go ahead and tell me. I'm going to go to sleep now.
Totally fair. I got nothing.
Ray, is there any last minute things you want said to Earth before my copy atomizes for me going to sleep?
Are you
Land
muted?
Shark?
I'll let
Omniglot?
Greg go.
I saw Mike's mouth
Oh,
moving,
sorry
but I'm not.
about
Okay.
The stuff I want to say, I could do offline after the game.
Okay.
'Cause I've been thinking about subplots and stuff, but for the purposes, nothing earth-shaking. Just to caution Marcus that we may go into me for a bit. This will be the last transmission via Unison.
Yeah, I'll send a mushy message to Jay, but that's it.
All right.
Omniglot has a message for you to give her father.
Understood.
So Unison, you start getting ready for bed.
Yeah. And as I get ready to go to sleep, when I wake up, Ray, you will still be in charge. despite me
Okay,
putting
we
you in
can-
charge due to me not sleeping correctly. When I wake up, you will still be in charge because I am currently on probation on Earth.
What? Did we know that?
Did you tell him about that last
Wait a
session?
minute.
No, I'm telling them about this now.
Okay. Fill him in
I'm
then.
going to
Okay.
sleep.
We'll talk about this in the morning.
Sure.
All right. So you go and you get ready for bed.
Sorry, I tried to take the magic book.
Well, you're coming from a good place. You and I can appreciate how the desire to maintain connections with a loved one from this massive distance. It's a hard thing.
All right.
We can talk about that more in the morning.
All right. So Unison, you go and get ready to go to actual honest to goodness sleep, while your duplicate back on Earth is sending these messages, typing these messages up and sending them off, or however he's delivering them.
I'm not gonna lie. I was secretly hoping we would kind of get to the point where Landshark would have to just like knock Unison out for his own good, so he could sleep.
So anything, Unison, you're getting in bed, you're getting ready.
Well, yeah, I think this is
Your clone finishes sending off the messages, and is just kind of staring out the window across the, in his office. Off across the town. And just before you're about to pop him, something happens. You see something off in the distance. The light gets weird. And it's like you see a haze almost like brushing across the city. City looks normal in front of it. It looks different behind it. But the haze is blurring it, so you can't tell what the difference is. The color scheme seems to be different. Something is changing the city on a citywide scale. And it only takes seconds before it sweeps up and across the building the clone is in. At which point, your perspective, it's like reality bends and stretches. Like if you took a t-shirt with an image on it and you grabbed two corners and kind of stretched it diagonally. But you only experience that for a second before the clone is popped. You don't release it. The clone is popped. And you realize that might have been the clone warping?
Oh, that's definitely not good in any way, shape, form, or fashion.
I'm
So
just
this is a
imagining
city
you,
on Earth.
yes. I'm just imagining you saying that as you're leaned back in your bed. Oh, just in an empty room. Oh, that's not a good thing.
Oh, man. Well, at least you can still get to sleep, one way or the other.
So do you get up to tell anybody, or do you just go to sleep? You'll tell them in the morning.
I'll tell them in the morning. There's literally nothing we can do about what just happened.
I mean,
So despite how tired you are, you still toss and turn for about 45 minutes thinking about what could that have been.
In the end, I'll chalk it up to probably some Fae thing. I haven't had to deal with the Fae yet, and then I'll go to sleep.
All right. Unison sleeps for about 14 hours. If y'all don't specifically wake him up, it's about a 14-hour nap.
I'm inclined to give him a pass on the morning meeting.
Mm-hmm. Like recluses go in there, make sure he's covered up, he's comfy, just making sure his friend and this terrifyingly powerful superhuman is comfy in his sleep and getting all the shut-eye he needs.
He never so much as twitches while you're in his room. He is out.
Yeah.
All right.
Night, buddy.
All right. It is 14:14. And the party's going to take just a little bit. I did not intend this to be a 3-session, dealing with this planet. I did not intend it to be a 3-session thing, but it was like it's going to be a 3-session thing.
I feel like we unearthed some interesting roleplay here. So I think it's a good thing that we're taking the time to resolve this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is definitely a good session. I just didn't realize how long some of this was going to take. When I came up with it all. But we'll go ahead and wrap here.
Hijacked it a little bit and took things sideways.
No, it's fine. That's what players are for. You're not actors where you got to follow these specific lines. Or if you are, you're more the Robin Williams, Ryan Reynolds style actors that you give them their lines, maybe they'll repeat those, and maybe they'll do their own thing anyway.
Who knows?
I always like to consider us on that same caliber, that same tier of acting.
And I will let you continue to think that. But yeah, glad y'all had fun. I had fun. Hopefully anybody comes by and watches or listens to this later will have enjoyed it and will join us again. Should be doing it again in 2 weeks. Again, I was your GM for the day, Jason. And with me as usual was... we'll start with Zach this time. Zach as Recluse.
I hope y'all had as much fun as we did.
Mike as Independence Ray. Who may or may not be frozen, I don't know.
What?
Taylor as Unison.
See you.
And Curtis as Landshark.
Laters.
And we will see y'all next time.
Same space time, same space channel.